Feeling alone. When you feel alone in jail, loneliest place in the world when you go to prison and you end up in the cell behind the door. When the door shuts, you've got no one to talk to, no one to share your problems with. It can be the loneliest place in the world. It can feel the loneliest place in the world. I've sort of touched on it before when I said the loneliest. When I first got banged up, first went away, the overriding emotion I can remember feeling now, more than scared, more than nervous, more than it was loneliness, was feeling alone. I'm not I'm not talking about the first time in prison now. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about when that door shuts at the end of the night after dinner, we've got our dinner, we're banged up for the night. It can be a lonely, lonely place when you get those thoughts in your head, you get those negative thoughts, you can't get them out of your head. It's easy, innit? People say, just forget about it, stop thinking about it, think about something else, take your mind off it. That's easier said than done. I mean, how can you? How can a person just? There's nothing else to do anyway. I mean, again, I say it all the time. Not looking for sympathy. Prisoners commit crime and you end up in jail. I'm just saying, these are things you go through. Yeah, when you're in there, I mean, okay, yeah, okay, I'll stop thinking about it. I'll pick up a book. I'll start reading a book. Yeah, but you're still thinking about the thing and you can't focus on the book. I've just read the same line 10 times. I've got to put the book down. Picking up TV and chucking it, that might help. But turning the TV on, watching your 6 channels, I mean, it's all super depressing anyway, isn't it? That ain't gonna make me feel better. I don't like watching TV anyway. What are you gonna do? You know what I mean? You can't talk to no one. You can't. Time stands still. Time stands still when you're in there, yeah, because well, you can't resolve nothing. So whatever issue you had when you went away, when I went away, I'm talking about myself. I'm always talking about myself. When I went away, it's still going to be there. Even if you get 10 years, 20 years, you're still going to have that same emotion, same feeling, same thought, because you haven't been able to resolve it. That's why time stands still. Because I've always thought, and I'm including myself in this, that prisoners that have done a few years behind the door, they seem younger than their years. Like they act younger than the age they really are. Again, I'm talking about myself more than anything, because time stands still. Time don't move on when you're in there. So you get out, and you've gone away when you was 19. You've got out when you're 30, but you're still acting, feeling like a teenager because time hasn't progressed whatsoever. That's why you get out. You know what I mean? You've been in there years. He's married. He's got a job. He's doing this. He's doing that. You're still literally feeling the exact same because you couldn't get over nothing. But I'm talking about jail, when you're feeling alone. And men, I mean, men in general, they don't talk about their problems, do they? Yeah, that's why men have got the highest rate of taking their own life, because they don't talk about things. It's like a manly thing, and it's like a man might think it's weak or this or that, and that's on road. Imagine how bad it is in jail. Who are you going to talk to in jail? You're definitely not going to go to anyone with your problems in jail. I mean, there's ways to do it. I mean, you can talk to the Samaritans, or ask to talk to a listener. I'll quickly explain the Samaritans thing. You can't just say I want to talk to a Samaritan and want to come in off the street. If you're really feeling the pressure, you can get on the cell bell, the emergency cell bell. Hit your emergency cell bell. The screw should come running. It won't take them. I'm about to say, did I really say it won't? They're meant to come running, but half hour. Usually about how long a cell bell takes for them to answer it. I'm feeling down. Can I talk to a Samaritan? Can I have the Samaritan's phone? So the screw will disappear and come back with a house phone, or it could look like a house phone, could look like a mobile, actually, saying that. But you won't be able to phone up a million people on it. It's just going to be have that one number on it, the Samaritan, so you can phone up. I'm feeling this, I'm feeling that. I've never done that. I have spoke to the Samaritans. I've asked to borrow the Samaritan's phone when I was a YO, young offender. Being annoying in the cell, me and my cellmate just think it's funny, yeah. Get hold of the Samaritan's phone and talk crap to the Samaritan. we used to think that was about as that's the only time I've ever used it. It's stupid. I'm wasting time. I could be taking up space from someone that's actually in trouble, but that's what we did. The listeners, they're prisoners, right? And you can tell a listener because they have the orange prisoners are given the blue t-shirts, haven't we? Anyone that's ever seen a documentary or been there, you've seen the prison blue t-shirts you get. A listener will have an orange t-shirt. It'll have a collar and all that, buttons, look right professional. Orange listener written on it. They will be trained by the Samaritans, and yeah, it's sort of the same thing. Get on your cell bell. You say, I'm feeling it. I want to talk to a listener. They'll go and get a listener, bring him to your cell, or they'll take you out of your cell. There'll be sometimes there's a listener suite. Where there'll be a listener suite. There'll be a room with a chair and you know what I mean. A listener isn't allowed to give you advice. All they do is listen. That's why they're called listeners. Yeah, I mean, I suppose it's right. They can't really give you because they could tell you to do something, and then the morning you do it and it goes wrong and whatever. But yeah, but they could just listen and people can unload. Again, I'm only talking about from my perspective. Is that really going to help me talking to a geezer that I know is only doing it so it looks good on his parole? Yeah, who else is going to be a listener? Well, why would you be a listener? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there's geezers out there that generally want to help geezers out, but I would say the high majority want it, because they can get enhanced and they can get this and they can get moved over to the good wing and then they can get parole, which is all good things. That's when you're in jail, there are noble reasons to do anything, is to get out. But don't change the fact that they really want to be there listening to it, and they're not meant to talk about it. They're not meant to talk about their problems. They're not meant to talk about what's been spoken about, I should say. It's like a confidentiality agreement. They're not allowed to come out there and go, oh, I was just talking to matey about this, about what happened to him when he was a kid or something. But they do. Of course they do. I was banged up with a listener. Used to come back to the cell 3-4 in the morning. I'd be there he'd wake up oh mate, I hope you've got a good story to tell me. You just woke me up. And he'd rabbit on about the geezer that he just met, the geezer just spoke to on another wing. That's how serious they take it. You know what I mean? But I'm getting off the point. When you're feeling alone in there, yeah, it is a hard one. I mean, and the thing is, you get banged up, and you go through all these same emotions. I'm talking about myself. I go through all these same emotions every single time. I feel alone. I hate this. I'm not going to talk to a listener because they're just using me and getting hard, this, that, or whatever. Yeah. It's only really the only real way you're going to stop it is by not going in the first place. Yeah, I know that's easy said. That's easier said than done, isn't it? But it is a sign of madness, doing the same thing again and again and again and expecting a different result in it. So I can sit here and bitch and whinge about it. So I felt alone 10 times in a row. And I didn't choose. Well, I did choose. I chose to go to jail. It's a choice, isn't it? It's a choice. If I didn't commit the crime, I didn't choose. I didn't say, put the cuffs on me. But if I didn't commit the crime, then I wouldn't have gone away. Then I wouldn't have put myself in the position to start feeling all sorry for myself. Oh, I feel this. I can't talk to anyone. This, that, blah, blah, blah. Weird, yeah. Yeah, man. I do feel sorry for them geezers that are that sort of fold at night. And I say this in the most respectful way. If I'm using a word that sounds like I'm being disrespectful, it's not. It's because it's the only word I can think of, and that's my own ignorance. Yeah, I'm not trying to be disrespectful. Do you know when the geezer, you hear them screaming and you're banged up at night, and thoughts get in the head, the loneliness overcomes. You know what I mean? You can't do nothing to get it out of your head, and you hear someone at night screaming to himself because he can't handle them thoughts, or they come out in the morning and they got fresh bandages on. You heard the cell bell going, you heard the alarm going off, and all the screws running at 2 o'clock in the morning. to come and save him or whatever, and he comes out in the morning, brand new things, brand new bandages, stained in red. You know what I mean? Or your next door. I've had it, mate. Really, just does not stop screaming all night, and I have to get on a cell bell to talk to someone because they start getting claustrophobic. Yeah, it's all stemming from that lonely feeling, isn't it? It all stems from that. What are you going to do? You know what I mean? How are you going to solve it? Don't go in the first place. That's how you're going to solve it, because your cellmate don't want to know. Trust me. Yeah. If you nine times out of 10, it ain't your mate from road that you banged up with. It's some stranger in jail, innit? That you've just met. I don't care what anyone says, any lies that anyone wants to say. You're there doing your own time, mate. You don't want to listen to this geezer. You do, right? You don't need it, right? So you can't talk to your cellmate. You can't talk to the listener, because they only using you for parole and a PlayStation. Screws, no matter what, the screw thinks you're a piece of shit. Yeah, you're a criminal. Yeah, the screw's not a criminal. You're a criminal. How do normal people look at criminals? As pieces of shit. So you're not going to talk to a screw about your problem. And plus, the screw's there to get you in trouble. There's decent screws out there is, but what's a screw's job? To shut you in the door and to nick you when the alarm goes off if they see you doing anything, right? That's ultimately what they're there for. So you can't talk to them. You can't talk to other prisoners. Who are you going to talk to? You can't get on the phone all the time because the phone is so expensive. If you spunked all your money on the phone, you won't be able to buy a shower gel. So what are you going to do? You can't talk to anyone. So you've done up all your credit. You've got 4 days to go till you get any more credit. What are you going to do? You just got to get on with it, ain't you? How are you going to get on with it? People do. People get over it, but it's all good saying people just get on with it because that's all they can do. They can do more than that. They cannot go in the first place. They could choose to be a man up, deal with the problems on road, and not go in the first place. And then you won't have to go through it, because you might go in there, then get out and think, oh, I got through that. No, I got through that lonely feeling and all that, but really you didn't, because you'd have damaged yourself somewhere down the line. Yeah, there would be some sort of post-traumatic stress or whatever. Yeah, that you'd have picked up, because you'd have been feeling all those lonely feelings for years and years and years, and just dealing with it yourself, thinking, yeah, I'm getting on with it. But in reality, they manifest into other things, didn't they? Manifest into an earache for you don't know. It's like, yeah, I get bad social anxiety when I'm out. It all stems from that. Like, oh yeah, I dealt with it myself. Well, I didn't really, did I? Because now I hate being around other people. But as is life, what are you going to do? Yeah, if you enjoyed that, hit subscribe. Don't go to jail, and you'll never feel lonely. Adios.